Okay, so I'm John. You bought the Buick from me. You asked me to kind of tell you about the maintenance and everything of it. It's really pretty basic. Gas goes in here. It takes about 10 gallon. I usually ran high test gas in it. If you're going to trailer it anywhere, cover up the weep hole, the air hole in there. That's just safe because otherwise it'll splash out. Coolant goes in here. I run antifreeze in it. If you come over here and you look at the lights, they're electrified. And so to turn the lights on, there's a switch I put over here. And you can just flip the switch and the lights turn on. And to turn it off. This is the gas over here. I had to turn the gas on. And I keep a little off piece of tape on there because I always got it confused. So right now the gas is off and turned it on is straight down. This is the crank hole over here. So when you put the spark up to the retarded position, which is up to by the 12 o'clock position, it opens up the crank hole. But as you know, the car has a starter on it, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And when I go to start the car, I go to all the way retracted plus just a little bit on it. It just starts a little bit better. Underneath the seat is the starter. And if the starter ever doesn't work, just check the plug that goes into it. Every once in a blue moon it would pop off, and it's just a crimp connector. This is the exhaust cutout down here. And if you come over here and this is the brake over here. It's hydraulic brakes, low gear, and then reverse. This one's the emergency brake up here. And this one is when it's all the way back, your low gear, it's like a go-kart. You push the slow pedal forward and up. And then when you want to go high gear, you put it all the way forward. To get it in a high gear, you got to get some pretty good momentum going on the when you get going. To bring the steering wheel down, this is the tilt wheel knob right here. The little button that goes on it is in the care package in the boxes that I'm sending you. You push it down and it tilts forward. I'll take the seat out. The transmission is in here. And this is the starter. And the plug that I'm talking about is in the back of the starter. I have a little oiler in here that I put in manually. And before I run it, I usually just pull it up once or twice, and that lubricates the throwout bearing on the transmission. And then on the transmission, there's a pipe plug, and you just crank it over till the pipe plug comes all the way to the top, and you just fill it with gear oil grease. Pretty simple. Underneath the other seat over here is the mechanical oiler, and just keep that full. We'll go to the other side. This is the timer for the car, and now the timer for the car, it's a modified Model T timer, an Anderson timer, and it seemed to work good. I had a little slop in it. Just because it seemed to work a little bit better that way. You may find your own way to do that, and I just found it worked better that way. If there was something I would work on in the car, it would be that, but it worked fine for me. The paint marker is where the spring where the spring meets the cam on it, and with that, it's in time. But if you want to ever change the timing, and I have a little cheat sheet on the little thing that goes on the front here. So in the yellow paint line, if you want to advance the rotor, you turn it clockwise. If you want to retard the car, you go counterclockwise. So to turn the coil box on, you just flip the switch over. And when it makes the switch over here, it will buzz the coil. And as you know, there's a front and back cylinder. And now to start it, the first time starting, you have to draw all the fuel up the long intakes. So what I normally would do is I would just come underneath and choke the car manually. And you can see the carburetor here. Let's just pull that up. And then when it starts running, it'll just automatically flip itself off from the vibrations. And so let me start the car. And the starter button is down here underneath your right leg.